I'm back from my shoulder surgery. Ouch. Actually, I was in my summer home in Monaco for the past 2.5 months. And during that time, I took a hiatus from making fun of the news, and not a single person sent me a message like, hey, I missed making fun of the news. When is it coming back? So that's encouraging. Actually, there's hardly been any stories to make fun of over the past few months. So hopefully, this collection today, from June 26th through September 10th, will put a smile on the face of whoever the hell is watching. Here we go. Police in Nebraska pulled over a man who was driving with a 2,000-pound cow in the passenger seat of his car. No, he's not into bestiality and out on a date. He was driving around his 9-year-old cow, who is half Longhorn and half Watusi. I thought it looked biracial. The owner converted the former Crown Victoria police car into a transportation vehicle for when he transfers the bull and showcases him in either fairs or parades. Puerto Rican Day or gay? The grandpa removed the P and the O from the back of the car, so it only says lease or lice. Just so nobody gets confused that he's a real police officer driving around in a 27-year-old car that's missing half the roof. He's driving around in a crappy car from 1996. He should have just kept the Poe. This gives new meaning to the term moonroof. That steer has one heck of a rear. The 63-year-old man has a custom license plate that says boy and dog. Maybe he needs to drive to get an Alzheimer's test. The cow lived up to its name, Howdy Doody, when instead of dropping a cow patty, it released a bunch of beef stew on the back of the car. Nasty. In addition to cruising for heifers, Howdy Doody likes to take walks, eat treats, and listen to his favorite Two Life Crew song, Me So Horny. A Japanese man spent $16,000 to fulfill a lifelong dream to become a dog. If he wanted to be treated like a dog and avoid claustrophobia, he should have just spent about $6,000 on an engagement ring to find a wife to treat him like a dog. And then he still would have had $10,000 left over to pay for a divorce lawyer after he discovers that they're incompatible because she doesn't like to do it doggy style. The man is only known online by his dog name, Toko. Loco is more like it. He's afraid to show his face in interviews because he doesn't want his coworkers to find out about his hobbies. Yeah, I know that feeling. My biggest fear in life is that my coworkers will find my social media accounts. I'm not kidding. But they already know that I'm weird. Toko's videos have gone viral, and somebody online wrote, "This is the most bizarre and insane thing I've ever seen." They obviously never saw Corey Feldman dancing on the Today Show. Loco Toco said he might buy other custom-made dog suits based on other well-known dogs, like a golden retriever, a Siberian husky, or maybe even Tiger Woods. A final piece of advice for Toko, based on my own childhood experience playing outside at my friend's house: it's all fun and games until you get mounted by a horny German shepherd who wants to share his bone. The Hot Mess Express, known as Tan Mom, is running in Florida as a Republican to become a U.S. Senator. Her slogan is, "Make America Native American again. 3 tanning salon visits at a time." The 55-year-old's real name is Patricia Krenzel, and she became famous in 2012 and known as Tan Mom after she was arrested but never convicted when a teacher and police saw burns on her 5-year-old daughter's body and took one look at Tan Mom and assumed that she had forced her daughter to go into a tanning booth, when in reality the only thing that she had forced her daughter to do was stop calling her racist names. Since I'm so kind and thoughtful, and I have a lot of free time, I made this free ad for her to use for her campaign. Aren't you gonna vote for me? As for her qualifications, she was in a coma for 2 weeks, so she knows what it's like to be the Senate Minority Leader. Also, her husband unfortunately died from cancer recently, so she said people should vote for her because she has a lot of experience dealing with insurance companies. Who? The Geico Gecko? Or Flo from Progressive? She described herself as a compassionate conservative. She recently went viral when this photo of 2 white men was released. Do you see her? No? That's because she's the same color as the couch. Hopefully she'll have a better chance at standing out against her competitors. She seems like she has a caring heart underneath all that leathery skin, so good luck. I mean, if it worked for tan dad, maybe it's going to work for tan mom. Adults all over the world are demanding that all children be put under immediate house arrest after a young girl wore a rabbit costume with bright flashing lights on a dark plane, preventing adults from taking a nap. I'll be honest, I hate most children, and if I was sitting in the seat behind her, I would have given her my death stare that I usually only reserve for people who push the elevator button after I've already pushed it and lit it up. Where is her seatbelt? I would have been silently praying to baby Jesus to cause a giant jolt of turbulence to teach little Fufu Rabbit and her parents a lesson. Judging by her face, this was obviously not this little girl's first time happily triggering adults and causing epileptic seizures. Just look at her face when she looks at the camera and raises those rabbit ears like, "Try me, lady." After they landed, they should have thrown her white furry butt out onto the tarmac and let the ground crew use her to guide the plane to the jet bridge. That's not child abuse. The article quoted a flight attendant as saying, "I'd say put that away. There are people trying to rest, read, watch a movie, etc. Also, there are people with disabilities, and this can be incredibly annoying and irritating for them. If I was the flight attendant, I would have said, turn your lights off and turn your white hairy rabbit ass around. Anybody need a babysitter?" I read a lot of headlines, and sometimes I can only think, wow, I guess today was a slow news day, like this Wall Street Journal article that was titled, "Saturday Night Live star Chloe Fineman hates the taste of water. White people problems. Next." A 32-year-old sperm donor quit his job and went on a 9,000-mile road trip to meet 25 of the 96 kids he helped create. I wonder if he drove an Infiniti, in honor of the number of kids he's going to end up fathering. He started donating during college after he got arrested for underage drinking and had to pay for a lawyer. I wonder if his list of personality traits for prospective parents included future alcoholic. He only received $100 for each donation, but he probably ended up spending thousands of dollars to treat the carpal tunnel syndrome that he developed in his left hand for donating so often. I wonder if the fertility clinic has some kind of award that if you father 100 kids, you get a golden turkey baster. Do I really wonder that? No, I don't. A few years ago, he was contacted by one of the women who had one of his babies and informed him of a Facebook group titled Zytex 5186 Offspring, named after his sperm bank ID. His ID should have been jerking instead of working. He keeps a spreadsheet of all of his kids' names, ages, and when he last saw or spoke with them. I wonder what he named that file. Kid tracker? He needs to make a PowerPoint pie chart to keep track of where in North America all of his kids are at. I guess one positive thing about not having 96 children in your daily life is that his wall is missing 92 pieces of bad kindergarten drawings. A woman in Texas was severely injured after a bird dropped a snake onto her while she was outside mowing her lawn, which caused the snake to wrap around her forearm but tried to bite her in her face repeatedly as the hawk repeatedly scratched her forearm trying to steal the snake back, which leads to so many questions, but most importantly, why is a woman mowing a lawn? She has a husband. The snake wrapped itself around her arm, kind of like all these different colored bandages that she bought after her accident. Homegirl is color coordinating every single outfit with her bandages, which isn't surprising because after her battle with the bird, her forearm looked like Lady Gaga's meat dress.
The hawk, his wings are just flapping.
Like her bicep. Don't worry, lady, you're not the only one. We both need to do more push-ups.
She wasn't speaking English. She was hysterical.
Send her back across the border. She now carries an emotional support toy snake on her forearm as a way to deal with the emotional trauma. But I don't think that's a good idea. What if a hawk comes along looking for a free meal? Maybe she needs to put a bald eagle on her other forearm. She did a few interviews and she cried in every single one of them, but I'm not going to show that part because I don't want us all to feel bad about me making fun of this horrible thing that happened to her. Tragically, the couple did not have a camera pointed in the direction of their backyard, so it was not captured on film and they can't pay her medical bills by winning America's Funniest Home Videos. Hopefully her husband was not the one who had to finish mowing the lawn. That's her chore. I read a headline that said, dinner plate-sized surgical tool removed from woman's body 18 months post C-section. You know I couldn't click fast enough to learn more about that little mistake. Oops. I was going to say that the woman, who was in her 20s, celebrated its removal by using the plate to eat deep-fried placenta and said, "It tastes just like chicken." But then I saw that the item looks nothing like a dinner plate and realized that the person who left it inside of her probably is the one who described it as a dinner plate because they're an idiot.
Oh, I don't drive. I keep taking the test over and over again, but I'm all, this is hard.
I love how the top says the AWR is usually removed once the procedure is completed. Usually? After an investigation, it's still unknown how the 11 members of the hospital staff who attended to her sewed up her wound without noticing that there was a mosquito net still stuck in her womb or her stomach or whatever the hell it's called. The New Zealand hospital is currently called Te Watu Ora Auckland, and I'm sure I butchered that name almost as much as they butchered her body. Previously it was called Auckland District Health Board, but I'm sure after this lawsuit is settled, it's going to be called We Close Because We Bankrupt. The hospital claimed that they had exercised reasonable skill and care towards the patient. They also said they don't know why she's complaining. It's like, what better way to get rid of unwanted pregnancy weight than to have a constant pain in your stomach? At least she got another 6 months of maternity leave, so I don't know why she's complaining. The tool ended up being inside of her stomach for twice as long as her baby was. After her second cesarean section to remove it, I'm wondering if she named it Caesar or Cha-ching.